Hello, sorry I can't be with you today. What we need to do is add details and textures onto your clay, as well as prepare it for the kiln. So I have my clay project, and my first step is I'm going to inspect it for any cracks. Remember, when you get yours out, if you see any cracks, just use the back end of your fingernail to smooth that out, or a wood tool. Next, I need to consider my overall aesthetic. Aesthetic is how pretty it is. How does it look? What does it need? So I have some tools that I will leave up on the counter over by the other clay tools. And these are like little stamps. So, for example, I have a teardrop shaped stamp here. I have a little flower shaped stamp here. I have a heart shaped stamp. I have a circle stamp. So I'm going to decide what I'm going to do here. I think I'm going to add in a couple eyes, and I'll just stamp those in. Okay, so now my bird has two eyes, but I don't really love how big those are. So I'm just going to take the back end of a marker, and you could do this with a pencil, and I'm going to add a couple little pupils in there. I like that better. I think that's kind of cute. I noticed that the lines, there should be lines on this beak. So I'm going to take a knife tool, just any knife tool that you see over on the counter. Remember to carry that safely to your desk. And I'm going to carve in kind of a smile on both sides. I think birds also have, it'd be nice if that would line up. It doesn't. I think birds also have kind of two little lines up on the top of their beak. I know they've got some feathers, so I'm going to use my teardrop shape. I'm going to start to overlap or lay in feather details. Now, as I'm doing this, I want you to think in your head, why bother? Why not just leave it plain? Do you have your answer? Well, hopefully you've said something like, because it's more interesting to look at, or it's fun, or it's detailed, or it's fun to look at when you have patterns. Okay, and that's really the whole goal, is to just jazz this up. If you want to add some more, let's say I wanted a little bow or something, there is clay on the back table. Just make sure that you return what you don't need. And then at the very end, and I'm not done yet, I would put some patterns on the wings. I'd put some patterns on the tail. Sometimes the pattern is as simple as just drawing it on. Okay, so for a tail pattern, maybe I'm just going to take a knife tool and draw it on. Maybe I'll put like a little bow or a little flower thing up here. Okay, so you can just have fun putting different textures and patterns on there. Okay, now when you're all done, okay, then we need to prepare this for the kiln. And here's what this looks like. Right now, this is a big ball of trapped air. That is not okay. So I'm going to decide either, hey, I'm going to poke a hole for like a mouth, or I could have poked holes for the eyes to let the air get out. But if I don't want to poke holes where people can see it, just going to turn it over. I'm going to take my knife tool and I'm going to cut a hole. Now, I went a little overboard, a little crazy. You don't have to make yours that big, but at least I know, hey, air can get in and air can get out of here. Finally, there is a sharp tool, the one I'm using, in fact, that I will leave up here on the teacher's desk. You can bring your clay up when you're done, ask to have this tool, and you're going to carve your name into the bottom. Okay, the reason we're going to carve our name in is, well, a couple things. First of all, what if two people have one that's really similar? Well, you can say, hey, this one's mine. It's got my name on it. Okay, another reason is maybe you decide, or your parents say, hey, guess what? We're moving. And you didn't carve your name in it. Well, over time, I'll forget whose it is, and I won't be able to get your work to you. Okay, so you're going to put your name in it, get the ventilation hole, get your name in it, and then you're going to put it back on your board. Don't wrap it up, just put it back on your board and hand it to the substitute teacher. and they're going to put it back into the cabinet in the kiln room. Last step, you need to clean up your space, please. Extra clay, if it's just small like this, it can go into the trash can. If you have a lot, put it back in the sack, please. All the little tools you used, please return them to the back counter. It would be nice if you'd help organize those supplies while you're back there. And then finally, get a cloth and wipe up your table, wash your hands, and grab some lotion from my desk. And that is it for clay. Let's do this, and then as soon as you're back to your seat and everything is done, there's another video for you to watch to get caught up on the next lesson. I look forward to seeing your completed pieces when I get back to school.